Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Robin is off tonight. They came and they went. That seems to be the story on the controversial Russian convoy that made its way into Ukraine without permission and left earlier today. What nobody seems to know is what they unloaded. The entire incident sparking anger overseas and here at home against Russia for what Ukraine is calling a direct invasion. Global's Anthony Robart explains.
This is a day when Ukrainians everywhere, including Canada, with its estimated million-plus with roots overseas, are filled with a deep sense of pride. But on this, the 23rd anniversary of Ukraine's independence, the spirit of the celebration is dampened. As half a world away, people watch the unfolding crisis with grave concern.
I'm still continuing to be appalled on how brazen Putin and the Russian military is in terms of their invasion into Ukraine. This is clearly an invasion. It's clearly a demonstration of how Russia continues to rearm the Russian-led and supported and funded rebels in eastern Ukraine.
He's referring to the Russian convoy of more than 200 trucks that crossed into eastern Ukraine on Friday, bound for Luhansk, a city hard hit by weeks of fighting between Ukrainian forces and pro-Russian rebels. The trucks began returning to Russia today. Russia is being accused of smuggling arms to the rebels. The Kremlin insists the trucks were carrying food, drink, and generators.
We very much condemn the flagrant violation of Ukraine's sovereignty.
Meanwhile, the escalation of violence continues to force Ukrainians to flee their homes. 4 months of fighting in eastern Ukraine, sparked by Russia's annexation of Crimea, has left more than 2,000 dead, more than 333,000 displaced. This is adding even more pressure on the international community to do more. The German chancellor visited Kiev today, pledging more than $700 million in loans to rebuild the country's damaged infrastructure. For its part, Canada says it is prepared to increase the economic stranglehold on Vladimir Putin's Russia with the possibility of even more sanctions.
He's bitten off much more than he can chew. And I think the international community is increasingly united in pointing to him as the author of this aggression in eastern Ukraine. And the consequences, unfortunately, will be borne principally by him.
So, Anne, the grim irony not lost on anyone is the fact that this threat on Ukraine's sovereignty is unfolding on the very day that Ukraine is supposed to be commemorating its independence. So while the international pressure on Russia may be building, while Russia's endgame remains unknown, there's also a growing sense that the EU, the United States, and Canada should be doing more.